Whoa, we have a lot to discuss in this particular video. Pokemon! 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 Hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon XY anime discussion. Today, this video is going to be jam-packed because we have a mini review of the Bonnie and Tyrunt episode, which hopefully will go short. Then we have some summaries and previews of the Bumblebee episode, and some other summaries and other information that we need to discuss. So hopefully hopefully this will be a short video. So I made a lot of notes here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just read the notes and stuff and discuss a little bit of it and stuff. Hold on, there's one more thing I need to add here. Okay, let me check. Okay, all right, so basically the synopsis, the summary, the overall summary of this particular episode is basically Team Rocket stealing a Tyrunt. It wakes up, blasts him in the face, falls down into a river or stream or whatever. Bonnie wakes up, gets water, finds and releases it from being stuck in the rocks. Then Bonnie takes care of it, plays with it. Team Rocket comes back. Kit takes Bonnie and the Tyrunt, but they escape because Tyrunt breaks free of the thing, of the net or whatever. So then they escape for a while, and then they try to escape Team Rocket, doing all these tricks and stuff. They get on this flat plateau basically. Team Rocket comes back. And then they use their metal hand. They grab Tyrunt. Bonnie gets there. They use another hand to get rid of Bonnie. Bonnie's falling. Tyrunt tries to escape but can't, so it evolves into Tyrantrum. Bites through the hand, saves Bonnie. And then Ash and company come back. Tyrantrum and Bonnie blast off Team Rocket. Then these guys from a laboratory come, or wait, hold on. Hold on. Bonnie wants Clement to keep Tyrantrum for later purposes. Clement throws a Pokeball. It doesn't work because Tyrantrum already has another trainer. Researchers and scientists come and say that it belongs to a laboratory research facility, however you want to call it. So then the end of the episode basically revolves around Bonnie coming to terms that Tyrantrum is not wild and is better off in the laboratory. Basically, end episode. That's pretty much the entire episode in a nutshell right there. That's pretty much really nothing much more to discuss. So let's go into some of the positives and negatives. Like I said, this is a mini review, so hopefully this will be very short and stuff. So what are some positives? I really think for a Bonnie episode, this was a really great Bonnie episode. It was adorable. It was cute. Tyrunt was cute and adorable. So was Bonnie. Bonnie primarily wore her Tyrantrum PJs throughout the whole entire episode, although she probably made a little mess when she was falling. That's probably why after that moment we don't see it anymore. But I don't, or maybe Clement wanted Bonnie to change, going into the laboratory, so that's probably why they changed. So anyway, so yeah, it was pretty great Bonnie episode. It had an awesome Tyrantrum personality dynamic going with Bonnie. The only thing that I didn't quite like, and this isn't really a negative, this is just a kind of like an annoyance more than anything, but there, and this is unlike me because usually I don't care about this sort of thing, because there's no way in heck I would be able to draw or animate this good. So even if you were to argue that there was some moments of Tyrantrum being drawn weird or whatever, I still can't exactly fully criticize it like some other people. Kind of like how a lot of people condemned Dragon Ball Super, the episode 5, because it had horrible animation. Yeah, that's not why I watched these particular cartoons and anime, unless it has a certain style that I don't like, I don't really care to notice the horrible drawn instances. I usually just watch the show for the show. Granted, other people other than me have an advantage in regards to that. But anyway, back to this. So basically, Team Rocket actually caused the plot to occur because without them, this episode wouldn't have existed because they're the ones who stole Tyrant from the research facility, and thus they weren't exactly annoying and pointless in this episode. And they got pretty dark because they were happy with Bonnie falling to her death. Some people thought that was a negative aspect in regards to Team Rocket, but it's Team Rocket. They don't really care about anyone but themselves and their Pokemon. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention that I remembered just now is that I like how uh, Clement was kind of like freaked out, as well as Ash. I don't know the circumstances, but Bonnie was like trying to wake up her brother, and then he woke up, got his glasses, stared face to face with Tyrant, freaked out. Ash woke up, freaked out as well. I don't know what that means other than there's a sudden Tyrant into the thing. But it's funny to think that that actually scene was because Clement thought Bonnie had turned into a Tyrant, because that would make the scene a lot more hilarious, because Bonnie was waking up Clement wakes up and there's this Tyrant, and the last thing he remembers is Bonnie trying to wake him up. So it would have been hilarious if that was actually what's. It was still pretty good, but it would be better if it was because Clement thought that Bonnie had suddenly turned into a Tyrant, which would have been hilarious. Anyway, there is one negative thing that I have to say about this particular episode, and then we can move on to other things in this particular video. The one negative thing is I didn't quite like how Bonnie was upset about having to leave Tyrantrum. I mean, sure, it was understandable and everything, but I didn't like how close it was that Clement got another Pokemon for Bonnie, because Bonnie was like Kipu Kipu or whatever, and Clement was like, oh okay, and threw a Tyrant, threw a Pokeball, and basically it would have been on the main cast. Now I have no problem with any other character having Tyrantrum other than Ash, because that's a dream that's never going to happen. Besides, Ash has had Gudra and also has Noibat, so Ash is fine with the dragon type Pokemon, and and besides, I kind of almost preferred Amara, because I felt like it was more suitable for Ash than Tyrant, and the only reason why I wanted Ash with Tyrant in the first place was because it was a personal choice, because I like Tyrant more than Amara. But that's not really the problem. The problem is having them capture another Pokemon for Bonnie, and I think that's a problem because there just isn't enough sixth generation to go around to just freely toss Pokemon Bonnie's way and completely ignore Ash, Clement, and Serena. I mean, Clement already got Luxio and Luxray, and that's a past generation Pokemon. And I feel like if Bonnie was to keep another Pokemon, is that it would have to be another past generation Pokemon. I mean, if Fanta comes along and Bonnie's all like Kipu Kipu, and Ash does not even remotely involved with this particular situation, I'm not exactly going to be happy with that, because like I said, Phantom is my one of my favorite 6th gen Pokemon, and it's one of my favorite choices for Ash to get, even though it's not likely going to happen. But still, if Bonnie has to keep another Pokemon, even though I feel like she should only have Dedenne, then it should be a past generation Pokemon when there's a lot more abundance of options to give, unlike 6th generation Pokemon. So I hope that's the case. I know this is 6th generation, but we're kind of close to the end of the main point of the 6th generation series. So at this point, past generation Pokemon would probably be preferred. Maybe even give Bonnie a Pokemon that could eventually Mega Evolve would probably be preferable than just giving her a random 6th gen Pokemon. If it's not something that might evolve in the future, Mega Evolve. So anyway, I Also, I didn't quite like this because Bonnie, for the most part, has been good about not having everything she ever wants. And I don't know if I quite like how she was cold in regards to Tyrantrum belonging to the research facility and laboratory and stuff. So I didn't quite like it. But at the very least, it was overcome at the end. We were able to move past it. And even though I didn't quite like it in this episode, how it worked in this episode, others can argue that it was still beneficial to Bonnie's character and stuff. So at least there's that, and of all things. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So let's move on to other things. Yeah. Okay, the Bumblebee episode. I've got some summaries that I've been reading and stuff. There's some summaries been out that I've been trying to save for this particular episode as well. So anyway, what we have here is we got a summary that says Bumblebee is Clement's trusty partner, but incredibly, the reason the two first met was because Bumblebee stole Clement's apples. And what was it Clement spotted just before he started chasing Bumblebee? After being attacked by Team Rocket in a forest, Ash and his friends end up falling into a pitfall. While they manage to get rid of Team Rocket, the attack used then causes a hole to open in the ground, causing them to fall below the ground. Bonnie then mentions the same thing happened to them once before. That was the story of when Clement met Bumblebee. So basically, before I quite get into my speculation of what's going to happen, let me read some things that I noted of the preview. We show Bumblebee with a lot of Pokemon. There's also Diggersby, and I'm assuming that as it relates to the previous summary, that this Diggersby is like the leader of these particular small Pokemon. I think there was Trubbish, there may have been Minccino, but I'm not entirely sure. I might show a quick image of all the Pokemon. Well, hold on. I might I might show a quick image over here in regards to the Pokemon shown, just to show you what was there and everything. So then then Bonnie and Clement fall down a construction worker's hole or whatever. It's kind of like a manhole but really big. It's like minor. It's like a minor hole. I think that's what they're going for, where they use like a backhoe or whatever to dig, and it's like a deep hole, and they fall down to some sort of mining excavation cavern area and stuff of that nature. Then of course we see a train with Bumblebee. Bumblebee is injured, and I don't know if this was in the special sponsored by next episode preview thing that for the last quite a few episode has only been either the song Monsters, Little Monsters, or the episode that just aired, but now they're finally, I don't know if this is starting with this episode, but they're finally in that little sponsored thing where they talk about their sponsors. There's the pink banners, and then there's an animation going in the back. It seems that they're finally going back to the next episode, so there's a little bit. And I think there was one episode of Bumblebee very grateful or happy in front of Clement. This may have happened otherwise, but it's a great moment for Bumblebee, and this is really great. A lot of people wanted to see Heliolisk, and well, we already pretty much know a lot about Heliolisk in that it was basically Clement's trusty partner before everything, and it evolved from a Helioptile, but the thing is, we don't know anything about Bumblebee, so it was great that we got some information about Bumblebee in sort of a backstory happening thing or whatever. And supposedly this takes place in a short period of time. This basically is like after Clement invented the robot and got kicked out of his gym, and right before Ash met with Clement and Clement met Ash and everything. So my speculation is based on the preview and the summaries and what everything's going on. I'm thinking this isn't quite the anti-evolution episode that I thought it was going to be, but at the very least, I think this is going to indicate why Bumblebee will never evolve into Diggersby, and I think it's because Diggersby is a kind of like a tyrannical leader of sorts, going around having Pokemon steal food and stuff, and then it may give it like measly portions of that food while it gets to hoard all of it. And then Diggersby like violently attacks Bunnelby. So I think that might be how it ends up being the case. I think this episode is going to be primarily a flashback episode. I mean, it's going to be primarily about the past. I think there's just going to be very few scenes with Ash and Serena in it and stuff, except maybe after Clement gets Bunnelby or whatever. Then when they come back, Ash might be falling out of the prism tower like what happened in the first episode. That might be the case, but I think this is going to be primarily back an episode that took place in the past. So yeah, so I think what's going on here is, like I said, Diggersby is an evil, tyrannical type Pokemon. But Bunnelby fails to impress or whatever, and then Diggersby like beats it, and then Clement tries to save it. Then they work together, and then Clement ends up capturing Bunnelby. So I don't think this is quite an anti-evolution episode, but I can see how, with everything going on, that Bunnelby would refuse or would not evolve into Diggersby. This isn't fully 110% confirmed, but I guess we'll have to see in the future if Bunnelby will ever evolve. I'm thinking not, based on what happened and what's going to happen in this particular episode, but I guess we'll have to see. So anyway, we have other summaries. We also have a new title and some speculation, and then there's some other information that I didn't add in the last video that I did in here. So anyway, the Eevee summary. As Serena is hard at work practicing for her showcase or Tripokalon, she happens to spot an Eevee dancing in a field of flowers. The dance makes a deep impression on her, and she starts thinking about how she'd like to participate in the Tripokalon showcase together with this Eevee. So this is kind of what I expected. We got a picture that I showed you in the last video of Serena having flower crowns with Braixen and Bonnie. I think Dendene was also in it, I think. So I think they're going to be around there. And then Serena sees this Eevee, tries to go for this Eevee, but it's scared of Serena and everything. Team Rocket get involved. Serena saves Eevee from Team Rocket. They have this really nice bonding moment and of that nature. There might be instances where Eevee is flirting with Pikachu, because apparently that's a thing. Eevee is going to be similar to Bunnelby. So anyway, I think that's pretty much for that particular episode. Tag battle. Okay, so the next episode, the tag battle, Tierna and Shauna showing up. As Serena is heading her way to Anastar, she joins up with Shauna, who's making to participate in the Tripokalon Pokemon Showcase, and Tierna, who rushed over to cheer Shauna on, which makes Serena all the more fired up. However, she's worried about the Eevee that just joined her. I don't know if I don't know if in the previous episode, the Eevee capture episode, Serena's going to know that there is a Tripokalon Pokemon Showcase in Anastar City, or is going to be this particular episode because she's traveling with Ash, or I don't know if Serena already knew there was a Pokemon Showcase in Anastar, but basically they're heading to Anastar City. And Tierno and Sean are there. There's a tag battle of some kind. Serena's obviously going to use Eevee to hopefully overcome Eevee's shyness with people and stage fright and help that it improves upon. I've eventually gotten over the fact that this is Serena related. At this particular point, I just don't care anymore if Eevee is used in the Pokemon Showcase or not. This was sort of an issue in the forums that I was like making a mention, and I kind of got a little warned basically that I was kind of off topic in regards to this, but you know, I just don't care anymore. So anyway, then the Pokemon Showcase. Ash and his friends have arrived in Anastar City. Their visit there is going to start with Serena competing in the Anastar Pokemon Showcase tournament. Serena manages to make her way through the theme performance, but as she heads for the free performance, a certain Pokemon of hers gets lost. Axew. I mean, Eevee. Or maybe even another Pokemon. Although I have to wonder where Eevee would have been at this point where it was lost. Did it just come out of Serena's Pokeball and just go along being scared of everything? But see, here's the thing. I don't know what's going on with this particular thing. I like how the summary basically says, "Oh, Serena passes the theme performance," or yeah, yeah, the quiz or whatever it is. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. You know, uh, if only the other Pokemon Showcase was as revealing. Serena passes the Pokepuff part of the competition, unlike the first competition where she didn't make it. Sorry, no spoilers. No, just kidding. But I really hope this doesn't become a thing. One thing I disliked about fifth gen a lot more than anything, well, except for the Cameron disaster, was that Axu kept getting lost to the point where they actually had to have an episode taking place in the Pokemon League, completely screwing over Ash in the whole process. I mean, it was bad enough that we saw Bianca battling against Cameron and Virgil battling other trainers and other trainers battling other trainers. We really, really had to screw Ash even more by having an X episode. Anyway, that's then. Oh well, blah 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 blah. So I think Serena's just gonna barely find Eevee and maybe reprimand it, or maybe Eevee will find something like that likes, and Serena will talk about Eevee not to run off, or maybe Eevee will get lost in the way that Axew did, and that Eevee will just become separated from Serena as Serena's or Eevee's following Serena. All these things scare Eevee off and makes wrong decisions and get lost. So hopefully there isn't too much drama going on there. But then I think when the showcase happens, I still don't know if Serena is gonna win the Pokemon showcase or not. I can't really decide. Considering that Nini is possibly going to be in this episode, I almost feel like she's going to win it. Maybe Serena will pass, but she won't quite do the free performance. But I don't know exactly what's going to happen because the upcoming episodes preview that we saw that showed Froggy Deer battling in the Olympia, we also saw where it was revealed that Fletchinder was going to evolve into Talonflame and Ash saving Talonflame. We saw Serena with a different dress on and Breakson and Pancham being there. I don't know if that's. It makes sense if this for this episode, but there seems to be a lot going on and everything. It's going to be very confusing. Nini's here. Shauna Tierno's in this episode. There's the theme performance and then free performance uh, where Eevee gets lost or another Pokemon ever gets lost. This is going to be a very jam-packed episode. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say about the Pokemon Showcase for now until we get either images in regards to it or a preview. So anyway, let's move on. New title, the Sableye episode. A Kalos Crisis, Battle of the Giant Sundial. So the Sundial is indeed going to be having a role in this particular episode. And of course, over here, you'll see a picture of a woman with Mime Jr. Now, now I'm sure you can guess what I kind of want this episode to be around. Battle of the Giant Sundial, or Battle at the Giant Sundial, or whatever. Battle. I think you kind of know who I'm kind of aiming for to get a battle here. You know what I mean? It's very small, can be considered cute and adorable. That particular Pokemon. It's the smallest of that particular person's Pokemon, smaller than Pikachu, I believe. That particular Pokemon. Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I feel like this is going to be a completely pointless filler with a woman and her Mime Jr. battling some evil Mega Sableye next to a Sundial, and the Sundial is going to cause Sableye to Mega Evolve. and Mime Jr. is going to be there and battling, and Olympia is somehow going to be involved in this episode. Ash is going to get used to it, and then the next episode is going to be about the gym battle. That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, so I'm not really sure. I'm looking forward to this episode unless the episode title says that Ash is involved in a battle. Maybe this woman has Mime Jr. and a Sableye, and Mime Jr. is just being a picture because she likes Mime Jr. or something. I do know that Mime Jr. and Sableye are kind of equal with each other. Sableye has kind of a more no, well, Mime Jr. would also be resistant, so they're kind of even. Mime Jr.'s fairy typing is going to be advantageous over Sableye, while Sableye's ghost typing is going to be advantageous over Mime Jr.'s psychic type. So they're kind of even. So I think that's kind of what they're going for. But if this woman has Mime Jr. and Sableye, then okay, I'm okay with this. All right. So I think that's it for new information. There are some other things that I want to make a note here. There is some sort of merchandise that I missed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find images of this, but I'll try. But there is an image of Charizard Y, and it's definitely heavily hinting towards a anime appearance, kind of like we already know. So yeah, so we're definitely possibly going to see Charizard Y really soon. And then there was also something else. I don't know if I missed anything, but there's also a thing that I missed where it has all the 8 badges, and based on what other people have been saying about it, apparently it means that Ash is going to get all 8 badges by the end of this year. Now, the only problem that I have is that while it could happen, because I don't think we know anything for sure in regards to November and December. So it could happen in December. I feel like there just wouldn't be enough of a gap because I'm pretty sure the gym battle is going to take place in October, like early October. And that means that if it's like October 8th or something, or 15 or something, that means we're only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, no, okay. More like 11 episode gap for December 24th. And that's probably going to be have an episode of Pokemon. So I don't think there's going to be an 11 episode gap. I think at best we're going to have to wait till next year before Wolfric, but I could be wrong. They could be rushing the whole badge quest or whatever. Let's see. October 15th is the Sableye episode, so if that's the case, then the gym battle is probably going to be the 22nd. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes till December 24th, which will probably be the last episode of the year due to the New Year's break that they often have, which will probably be the 31st next to the New Year's. So I don't think there's going to be an episode there. So yeah, I'm not expecting there to be an actual episode, or I'm not expecting there to only be a 10-11 episode gap. It's happened before with Ramos and Clemon, but I still don't expect it to actually happen between Olympia and Wolfric. I feel like there's going to be a bigger gap, like at least 16 to 20 episodes, but I guess we'll have to see. I just don't know if I like the idea of them rushing. Now, I suppose it's entirely possible that of the other episodes that aren't Wolfric, like the 9 or 8 episodes that's not Wolfric, I suppose it could just be some sort of mini arc and some few episodes, and they may make it to Wolfric, but I don't know about Ash getting his badge at the end of this year. So I'm thinking it's more along the lines going to be next year, like early January, mid January, or even early February is probably when I think Ash is going to get a Wolfric, but I'll show the image, or already would have already shown you the gym badges just so you can make that determination for yourself. Is Ash going to beat Wolfric at the end of 2015? I guess we have a few months away to find out the answer to that. Also, if I'm not mistaken, very soon, Pokemon Fan and Koro should be coming out soon. So we should know about that blobby creature, whether it's a brand new Pokemon or some sort of confined form to Zygarde, or some other aspect, and maybe we'll get some information in regards to that um, alternative Zygarde form that's huge and gigantic, that looks like a Titan or something. It's very huge. And Pokemon fans should reveal some information about Alon entering the episode. We should probably get some revelation in regards to Charizard, why coming into the anime at that particular point. Or Pokemon fan could be cheap, and all we're going to get is some images of Ash and Alon meeting. Hopefully, they'll imply that Ash's Charizard comes back, or whatever the case may be. But I'm also hoping that they'll reveal the gym battle a little bit, and hopefully they'll indeed spoil that Ash's Frogadier is going to evolve, because I'm still holding out hope that Frogadier is going to evolve in the gym battle. Now, someone mentioned before in the forums, and I completely, well, I kind of already expected this, but I really didn't give it much thought. But even if Meowstic, the Meowstic duo, have a great advantage over Frogadier with its psychic types, and evolving would give it immunity, that doesn't necessarily mean Olympia is going to be out of the battle. There are quite a few moves that Meowstic can learn that would still be super effective against Greninja, or very effective to use against Greninja. So it's not like if Frogadier were to evolve, that's going to give uh, Greninja the greatest advantage ever. It's just that it's going to be immune to psychic type attacks. So basically, Olympia is going to have to use other moves other than her psychic type strategies. Also, people seem to think that this is going to be like a Deus Ex Machina type situation, or, completely written incorrectly in regards to Frogadier evolving into Greninja. But here's the thing. If Frogadier is battling against two Meowstic by itself, kind of like the preview implies, like Frogadier has to battle these Meowstic all by itself based on the preview that we saw of the gym battle, implying that Ash is sending out Frogadier out of desperation, meaning that he has no other choice but to use Frogadier. Then evolving it, I feel like, is just going to um, make it more fair, because having one Pokemon battling against two Meowstic is a little unfair. So I think Greninja would just balance it out a little bit more. I don't know if Ash is like, or Olympia is being overpowering Ash, and that's why Ash is desperate in using Frogadier, and that's what happens, or Olympia is being cheap in general and saying that Ash can only use one Pokemon against both her Meowstic. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know if this is going to be a true double battle, Frogadier again with somebody else versus them, but I do have a feeling that Frogadier at the end of this particular battle is probably going to be battling all of them. Like I said, even if Frogadier doesn't evolve, I'll be happy if Frogadier takes out both Meowstic, because that will be impressive in of itself. But I'm really hoping that Frogadier evolves into Greninja, and at this particular moment, I would prefer Greninja just learn Night Slash and replacing it with Cut, because I think right now Water Shuriken and other moves can wait until later. So yeah, like I said, I'm really hoping that this will be the case and that Frogadier will evolve. So that's all I have to say right now. When more information comes, of course, I'll make another video. I'm expecting the moment after I record this and edit and rendering is going to take forever, like 4 or 5 hours, because that's the usual length it takes. That more information is going to be revealed. So if information is revealed tomorrow, or rather tomorrow after I record this, today is Thursday. So if information is revealed tomorrow, I might make a video tomorrow in regards to that new information and possibly upload it Saturday or something. I'm hoping to upload this today, or at least within Thursday, Friday transition or whatever, but I guess we'll have to see. Sorry if I missed information. but it's hard to keep up with all the information, and especially when there's going to be a lot of anime information revealed possibly very soon. It's gonna be even more difficult to keep track of all the information, but I'll keep going on as much as I can. So I think that's everything. So just look forward to more anime information relatively soon, at least within the next 5 days, potentially. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.